We wanted to show a frail Bruce Wayne. We wanted to show, as we always have, wanted to show the physical consequences of what he does. We wanted to show the mental consequences of what he's done. And at the end of The Dark Knight, he made a choice, which was against all of his ethics, but which in the short term seemed to be the right choice to make, and probably was in the short term. But in the long term, the truth is coming out. And he recognizes that the foundation of peace within Gotham is based on a lie. And he feels incredible remorse. He's become more of a recluse than we've ever seen him before. He's racked with guilt, and Batman has disappeared completely. Well, he has to become Batman again, and that's through the inspiration of a couple of new characters, through Selina Kyle, who approaches him as though she couldn't care less that he was Bruce Wayne, which is obviously a breath of fresh air to him because everyone is nervous to be in his presence. And she doesn't care anything about who he is. She's rude, she's brash, she steals from him, and he finds that humorous and he finds that colorful, and it starts to make him interested in people again. And then he meets with Blake, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, who inspires him because he reminds him of who he used to be and of his altruism. Tom is a phenomenal actor. He used the obstacle of his mask to be a positive. He's incredible in being able to convey all that he needs to just with his eyes, despite the mask covering most of his face. He was the first adversary that Batman has come across who is physically dominant over Batman, and especially since we're meeting Batman at a physically frail state, and he has to try to recover himself, and he has to try to recover his strength, both mentally and physically as well. We have Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who is a very altruistic young cop, who would apparently you would expect to give up because the odds that he's facing, it's unlikely he could achieve anything. But that inspires Bruce Wayne. Would be very surprising for Blake to hear that, but it inspires Bruce Wayne because that's exactly where he began as well. And then obviously we have Anne Hathaway playing Selina Kyle, who is a very brash and somewhat confusing person to understand initially. But we come to understand her to be a great partner to Batman and somebody who rejuvenates him and rekindles a fire that he had lost. I've learned working with him that it's possible to make these large-scope movies but retain a sense of character there, that you don't have to lose that because that so often happens in these large movies. It just becomes about the action. Every fight sequence must not be just a fight sequence for the sake of it. It has to tell you something about the character, otherwise forget it. You should just cut that whole thing out. And having Tom as an adversary was very good for that because he's such a good actor that he was able to bring that to the table as well. And also a respect for these kinds of movies. You know, Chris has incredible integrity, and consequently, you know, when he tells me this should be the final one, I listen to him and say, okay, this is goodbye.